Hey guys, welcome back to Rossoneri TV. I'm Gio and I'm here for the match review of Bournemouth against AC Milan. Match that was won by the Rossoneri, 2-1 in this friendly match that took place in England. The match was won, as I said, by the Rossoneri. Goals scored by Suso and Niang, while the goal scored from Bournemouth came in from Mousset. Not the best of games, really. It wasn't that entertaining to watch, I have to say, especially in the first half. It was an half very dominated by Bournemouth. I think they played very good football, and I think Milan had lots of problems containing them. They were making lots of smart runs, lots of smart movements, and this really put the Rossoneri in much difficulty. Now, Milan played many players that just came in the team. I'm speaking about AC Sosa, Pasalic, Vanjoni, Lapadula. So this was a first real taste to see what they could offer to the team. And I have to say, I wasn't really impressed with their performances in general. I could see there's a lot of work to be done with many of these players. But honestly speaking, I think that certain players, such as Lapadula, could definitely give a helping hand to Milan this season. I think he has a great work rate. I like how he always works hard, even though he knows that he's not going to get the ball. He's going to keep on fighting until he gets it. And that is a very good trait to have for a striker. You know, many times you don't see strikers pressing as much as they should. And Lapadula, on the other hand, is the exact opposite of that. He's very smart. He knows how to press the opponents. And once again, he knows how to conquer balls in that fashion. In terms of the midfield, AC Sosa, I think he gave some good passes today. However, there were many mistakes in that midfield. Lots of counterattacks caused due to these mistakes. Lots of balls lost in that midfield. And this is something that Montella is going to have to work at, because if he wants to replace Montolivo with AC Sosa, AC Sosa is going to have to do a better job than that. I understand this is his first real game that he plays in its entirety, but I think there's some positive signs coming in from this player. It's just going to take time, like the rest of these guys, to fully integrate into the squad and have their own say in this team. Now, in terms of Pasalic, you know, I wasn't very impressed with his performance today, especially in the first half. He started growing a bit more. He had a bit more confidence going into the match in the later stages. But in terms of what he's able to do, I wasn't fully convinced. I don't think he could very much give that spark that Milan needs this season. And for another reason, that is why I think that he's not going to get much playing time, as you would expect. And this goes back to show you and kind of question you if a player like Jose Mauri should have just stayed at the club and fill in those shoes that Pasalic is doing at the moment. Not a bad player. I'm not saying anything, of course. Once again, it's his first game, so it's going to take time for him to integrate into the squad. But I think he's not really going to have a major say this season. But if he shows otherwise, if he starts to improve, maybe get more minutes under him, he could definitely bring that confidence. Because once again, I saw it in this guy. At the beginning of the game, he was very confused, not quite sure what to do at most times. And later on, you know, he kind of built a self-esteem. The confidence was building as well, and he was actually making better movements altogether. I also want to speak about Vanjoni. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are curious to see what Vanjoni did today. I think he had a decent game. Once again, not really threatening, but the whole team in general wasn't really threatening as they should have been. But he has some very good, decent crosses. I think, once again, like Pasalic, he's going to have to find that playing time. And the only way he's going to get it is if he convinces Montella in the training sessions or in friendly matches like these, because these matches are actually very important. Some people might say, you know, it's just a friendly match, nothing more than that. I see it in another regard, and because there's players that are trying to prove something to Montella, especially the new players coming in. They're trying to prove to Montella the attitude, the character that they have in these matches. these matches. It's very important to show Montella these types of qualities in these matches so that you could give them confidence. You could give them a role maybe in the important matches, in the matches that count. So once again, a decent performance from Milan. I think we could have done better. Bournemouth played a very good game themselves. I think being at home maybe played a bit of a factor there. But honestly speaking, I think they had a very decent performance. Could have got more, could have got a better result. It's actually quite funny because the first half was pretty dull, but in the second half, there was like goal after goal. I think all 3 goals came in the span of 2 to 3 minutes. I was like, what is happening in this game? But good performances from Suso. Niang looked a bit sluggish sometimes. I think he could have done a bit better. Once again, trying to do a lot of individual work, sometimes not really fulfilling his role or taking part in the result that he wants. But I think that he still has a lot of work to do. Niang, he's a positive. He was a positive this game, that's for sure. But I'm pretty sure he could offer even more. Even the commentator was saying Niang was a bit lazy in certain times. But I think I'm confident. These goals boost him whichever way you get them. It's always a boost to your confidence. So nice to see once again the usual Suso and Niang on the score sheet, just like we saw against Napoli. What else to speak about? I also want to speak about Plizzari. That is the third goalie, 16 years old. Now, this guy came in with about 10 minutes remaining, and I think I heard the commentator saying this was like his first ever match on such a professional ground. And I have to say, for a third goalkeeper at 16 years old, this guy really has character. I liked what he showed. He made some very good saves that could have easily been goals. And at 16 years old with that much pressure under you, it's never an easy task. So I like what Plizzari showed today. Maybe we'll see more of him in friendly matches. I think that he actually played better than Gabriel did today. Gabriel, he was very uncertain certain times. I think that many times his kicking is not his strength. I think we all knew that. But many times he was like caught out of position. I don't know. It wasn't the best of games for Gabriel. Maybe if Plizzari actually continues to show promising things in these friendly matches, who knows? Maybe he could bump up to second in the rankings for the goalkeepers. But once again, you're going to need a goalkeeper with a bit more experience. And Gabriel being the eldest of the 3, you're kind of expecting that he's going to keep that second spot in the goalkeeper rankings. Now, guys, it's your time, so send in your comments. Let me know what you thought about the game, if you actually watched it, or if you guys want some feedback on certain players in particular. Let me know in the comment section. I'll be answering your questions for the next 5 to 10 minutes. So let's get started. Dr. Carl Jerome. Hi, Gio. How you doing? Who was the best player in attack, and how do you rate the defense in today's match? Best player in attack, I might have to give it to Suso. He showed some very good promising signs. Lapadula, like I mentioned before, had a very good work ethic. I think he could definitely provide some good things for Milan. And it's good to see that we have players like Luis Adriano or Lapadula on the bench ready to take over Bacca in case of something happens. So I'm happy with that. At the same time, the defense was all right. Not a shaky performance, really. There were a lot of uncertainties between certain players. I think you can blame a bit Paletta and Suso on Bournemouth's goal. But other than that, I think that the defense did all right. Paletta actually had a pretty decent first half. Can't complain there. But, this is not really the starting defense that you're going to see. Most of the players in the starting defense weren't there today due to international break, being busy with the Italian squads. So we're going to see what happens there. Was the last cross by Bournemouth off the crossbar saved by Alessandro Plizzari? I couldn't tell. From what I saw, I think he got a hand to it. The commentator was saying the same, so I'm pretty sure that it was a deflection there by Plizzari. So very good to see. This guy, La Ferrara, kid is amazing. Yeah, he showed some good things as well. Let's see. Do you think Paleta can carry our defense this season? I wouldn't really say carry our defense. I think he could step in as a good substitute, as a good reinforcement when we need. Paleta is not the most reliable type of defender out there. You can get some very good games from him and some very bad games, but he could still be a solid backup. So I don't think he could carry our defense, but he could definitely be a good supplement. Can Sosa bench Montolivo? This is something that we've been speaking about for a few days now. And I have to say, with Montela's words of Jose Sosa possibly playing as a regista, I could see it happening. Once again, he didn't have a bad game today. I think he showed some positive signs. But once again, it all comes down as to how he's going to develop and how quickly he could develop in this team. If it's going to take a lot of time for Jose Sosa to adapt to Milan, chances are we're going to still see Montolivo in that regista role in the midfield. Hopefully, Jose Sosa could actually change Montela's mind and make him start in that position. I'm curious to see more of all these guys, not only Jose Sosa. I want to see more of Vanjoni, Lapadula, and so forth. Once again, this was only one game. I think they could all provide more to the team, of course, but we're going to have to see what happens there. Pasalic, yes, Matty Fernandez did not play in this game. Pasalic played. As I said before, he did okay, nothing special. How did Rodrigo Eligo? Will he be an option this season? He had some okay moments, nothing great as well. I think he will be an option this season, but once again, I think he's more down the chart in rankings. Right now, I see Gustavo Gomez, Romagnoli up there, followed by Paleta, and maybe Rodrigo Eli comes after that. It was a decent match by Milan. Nothing more. Nothing to be excited about, really. But it was a good game, nonetheless. I mean, it was at least a back-and-forth action, at least in that second half. First half was mostly dominated by Bournemouth, and I think that, when they're playing at home, maybe they had the advantage there, but they made some smart movements. They're a smart team. They're used to playing against teams with high-caliber players, so it's not like they're not used to that situation. They did good. They did a good game. Do you think we should prioritize a center-back or a midfielder in January? That's a good question, but I would probably go with a center-back. Abate was the captain today. Yes. Yes, Zapata still at Milan. Why the match against Bournemouth? It was a friendly match. Nothing more than that. Doesn't count for anything. Just keep sending in your questions, guys. I'm going to be answering them for the next 5 minutes before I sign off. Once again, very happy with the youngsters. I saw La Ferrara and Plizzari doing some good things today. I think Zanelato came in as well. Good performance by the youngsters. Who was better, Suso or Sosa? I'm going to have to go with Suso at the moment. I saw a lot more, of course, of Suso than anything else. So I would have to go with Suso. This guy, I think he's going to be a very, very important player for Milan this season. Suso. How can Milan improve? Working hard and also changing a lot of players. Always trying to get improvements, not being cheap on the transfer market, making smart purchases that actually fit our team's formation and style of play rather than just buying anyone for the fuck of it like we've seen in previous years. There's a lot of factors that need to change for Milan to improve. No, there's actually mid-season friendlies. A lot of times, like during international breaks, for example, there's usually clubs that set up friendlies just to test out the players that didn't play as much and so forth. I think it's a good initiative, actually, that these friendly matches do take place when there's international break. So it doesn't really interfere with the season, but rather for the people that don't get much playing time, they actually get a possibility to do so and showcase in front of the coach and the fans. Best signing this season? I mean, the season just started, so I can't really answer that. I'm really trying to say Lapadula at the moment. I want to see more of him. I want to see more of everyone, but Lapadula is definitely a very good signing. Also curious to see what Matty Fernandez could do, you know. Many people are saying he's old, he can't do much, but I think he could definitely give a helping hand to Milan. We're going to have to see what happens. Preferred center back pairing for the time being. You know, I'm a bit undecided on either Gustavo Gomez or Paletta, because Romagnoli, we all know he's going to be starting every game. But Gustavo Gomez and Paletta, you know, Paletta has the experience. He knows how the Serie A works. He could be a very good complement to Romagnoli. At the same time, you got Gustavo Gomez that could still do very well. Once again, you can still be solid in the defense. But if we want to go for experience, you can go for Paletta. However, we're going to really have to see who's the more reliable defender at this moment. Gustavo Gomez, you know, he hasn't played much. We only saw him in one game. So we're not really able to judge him at the very moment. I want to see maybe in a few games from now the difference between Paletta and Gustavo Gomez. Who could be better? But honestly speaking, I wouldn't pick any other defender in the center backs. Zapata, this guy is really unreliable, makes silly mistakes lots of times. I wouldn't start him. I would use him as a last resort, but definitely not start him. Do you think Bonaventura's position is crucial for our play? What position do you see him best? I've actually read that Bonaventura might actually be playing on the left in that 4-3-3, so as a left winger against Udinese. So I think that's a position made for him. I don't really see him much in that midfield, but we'll see what happens. But chances are he will be replacing Niang on against the match against Udinese, because Niang is suspended. Question unrelated to the match today. Do you know if Milan TV is available outside of Italy? No, it is not. As far as I know, it is not. I'll answer one or two more questions. Do you think Milan can get into a top 5 or 6 position by January to try to track big players for the Chinese money? I think so. I think we have the team. It's all going to be based on the type of work Montella does for these guys. He's going to have to really push them to the limits, because these guys need to understand it's important to be in the top 5 or 6 by the end of December, January, pretty much. All right, guys, that's going to end up the stream for today. Thank you all for joining me for this match review of Bournemouth AC Milan. Don't forget, you can still comment down below what you thought about the match. Also, don't forget to subscribe to Rossoneri TV to stay updated with everything going on at AC Milan on a daily basis. And I'll catch you guys later for another video. This has been Gio signing off. And as always, Forza Milan.